We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 Damn. What part of brother you in this? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting up.
You woke? Time to get up. Hello, welcome to Thought Your World No Speed Limit Podcast. I'm going to make this a brief one today, but before you do that, just remember this: like, share, and subscribe. Hey, and this is a big subject, so I don't mind. I want to hear from you, the audience, after I get through with this. I'm going to give my opinion on this, and we'll go from there, okay? So, guys, I don't know. As a black man in America, this is an experience that we keep seeing over and over again. We're always going to see it, or at least for now, we're going to see it until things change. The system hasn't changed. We're not hearing too much talk about it right now in this political campaign. We hear some inklings that certain things are happening. That if the Democrats win the House and they win the Senate, they're going to pass the George Floyd bill. We're hearing inklings that police reform is coming, quote unquote. At the same time, we got the other side that wants to give police the ability to do whatever they want to a black man. In this particular case, we're talking about Tyreek Hill. And people don't understand how I feel about this particular case. This is Miami. Miami has done a lot. This is in Florida. This is Ron DeSantis' country. He has done everything he can to help the police officers, almost making it illegal to film police officers, giving police more leeway than they ever had before. You get harassment charges. So if you're protesting, or in this case, this young man is like, "Hey, don't knock on my window." That could be considered a harassment charge. You're harassing the police. You're not obeying their command. So they basically pull you out. Even though not in one time did they tell him why they were pulling him over. He said it himself and kind of convicted himself because he said, "Hey, look, you give me my ticket so I can go about my business." Even though he didn't really admit guilt, which you're not supposed to do. They're supposed to tell you the reason why they're pulling you over, and then they ask you for your driver's license because, you've seen these videos where people resist and things happen to them. So the first 14 seconds of a stop, the first 14 seconds of that contact is the most important thing in the world. The officer knocked on the window, and he said, "Hey, don't knock on my window." But my thing is, if he had just stood in front of the window with it, Tyreek could respond. And you gotta also understand the actions of police officers who are always worried that a traffic stop is going to end badly, because traffic stops are some of the most dangerous things in the world for police, right? So I'm giving you both sides of that issue. The issue is that the brutality that the police did to Tyreek afterward wasn't fair. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't injured or hurt really bad, but they forced him out. They pulled him out of the car, forced him on the ground, handcuffed him. Another officer, in a few minutes, he was standing there. He was saying, "Hey, I have knee problems. I just had knee surgery." Another officer jumped on his back and pulled him to the ground. He said, "Was any of that necessary?" Tyreek is saying that. So what you're seeing here is, once the initial contact happened, emotions took over. He ain't obeying my command. I don't care who he is. He ain't obeying my commands. You can hear that in the video. In fact, let me show you the video right here.
Giving you a lawful command, you need to step back. Hey, they really just hit me though, for what though? Don't get on my window and stuff like that, man. I'm chilling though. I ain't been disrespectful to nobody though. Stay on that side. Stay on that side. Hey, so why y'all put me in over today? Hey, don't leave. Don't leave. Hey, don't leave. Don't. Hey, your buddy's about to go to jail. Hey, don't leave. Don't leave. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Your license right now. Hey, your license right now. But I want to look your license right now. Your license right now. You're dealing with me now. Your license right now. We're not playing this game. 199. sit up and you move away from the control. Are you? No, I can't run. Okay. I'm not gonna run, bro. I'm sure you don't run. I promise you I ain't gonna run, bro. If I wanted to run, I would have been ran. Shit, brother, grab me by my neck. Hey, don't do. Hey. That's me. Let me get you. Okay, you better. I hang out until Murphy gets you. Hey. You got both like hey. 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 Why is he acting up like that? You know who that is, right? Huh? You know who that is? No. It's one of the Dolphins star players. Oh, yeah? Yeah, that's why it's such a big thing. This is a lawful traffic stop. We can do this. What you're doing is not lawful, sir. You need to leave, okay? Sir, I already advised you. Get in your vehicle. Please move it. Case discussion will start.
So unfortunately, after that, there was another arrest. You saw the other man at the end of the video there. He was also arrested. Now, what ends up happening? This is Tyreek Hill. He ends up talking to the officer, probably the lieutenant. I believe there was another person there that they ended up talking to, and he was released. And he got to go to the game, and he actually had a pretty good game, from what I hear. What do I have to say about this? Again, as I made a statement before, we see this time and time again. Another black man being arrested, brutalized to a certain degree. He wasn't brutalized, like he wasn't beat down, but he did say something about the guy grabbing his neck. And if there is another video footage of where he's standing there and the officer just comes up and grabs him down and throws him on the ground, trying to get control of him. Yeah, I think it's the same officer. He said, I can't move my neck. I can't turn around. He said, no, it looks like you're tensing up. It looks like you're tensing up. Tensing up to do what? That's my question. He is on his way to a football game. He's trying to get there. And from my understanding from listening to football players, he was like 2 or 3 hours out, and he was trying not to be late because the fine that the ticket costs money, but that fine that he gets for being late getting to the stadium is way worse. So he didn't want that. That's probably why he was speeding too. So everybody's like, well, he was in the wrong. He was in the wrong. Well, so were the police. This does not give them an excuse to do what they did to Tyreek Hill at all. None. There have been other situations where people have talked back, did all kinds of stuff. They in there smoking dope. I even heard of a situation where a police officer was literally shot at while doing a traffic stop by somebody. They chased him, got him out of the car. Nothing happened. It was a simple, get out the car. They pulled a gun on him, of course. But get out the car, get out the car. They arrested him, took him to jail. I've seen other incidents where somebody's literally hurt in an accident. Police pull him out the car and are beating him down. For what? They already hurt. So, it's like when you see this incidents like what happened to Tyreek Hill, it's awful. He was on CNN talking about it. They talked about a first take this morning. Stephen A. Smith kind of got in trouble with some of them because of what he said about the words Tyreek said. And I will say this. Tyreek's actions could be perceived however you want, even though this was wrong, how the police actions were. His actions can proceed as aggressive or condescending, however you say, don't knock on my window. He rolled his window down. But you got to understand, he's a Miami football player. There are so many angles on YouTube and other places of this particular incident that tells you why he did not want to roll that window down. He didn't want to roll that window down. Police officers didn't take that into consideration, even though, as he said in this video here, that's Tyreek. That's one of the star football players for the Miami football team. Hey, that's all I can say is, wow, this is one thing to watch. It's something else. When I first saw this, I had an emotional response. Again, another black man being harassed, being pulled down. I had to think about it a little bit. There were some things that he could have did better, but there were a lot that the police could did better. I don't know if training can fix what I saw here. I don't, these guys, I'm sure most of them were older, so they've been policemen for a while. They should know how to react to that situation. I thank God nothing happened to Tyreek, and yes, because he's Tyreek, it would turn out better. But most likely, another man would have ended up in jail going with all the stupid laws in Miami right now. He would just end up going to jail. You know, would have ended up in jail, ended up dead. So you got to watch how you do a traffic stop. My whole thing is this: I'm gonna give you my driver's license, give you my registration. If you ask me, do you know why I pulled you over? I would go, not really. Or I would say, okay. If you tell me why you pulled me over, I'll say, okay. Don't admit guilt and don't lie about it. Just say, okay. You know, so and let them give you your ticket. You go, okay, thank you, have a nice day, and drive on. That's the whole idea. I want to be able to escape this situation. It's amazing how we have to teach our young black men to stay calm in those situations. Just make sure you have your driver's license available. Make sure you have your registration and have your insurance. Don't give them any excuse to do you in. And it's sad that we have this world where we have to do this, but there's a man who claims he's a police officer trained to serve the law, who's armed with a gun, who, if his emotions get out of control, you can end up dead. That's the problem. That is a problem. We're not vetting our police properly anyway in our society. We hire people. We say, hey, we're hiring. Here you go. There's some things that they do that they call checks to imbalances, trying to make sure that this person belongs here. But at the same time, there's other things that psychologically this person be. They said it is written in them that one of the jobs that psychopaths like to take on is police officer. Psychopaths. They like the job of being in authority and in charge and over people, but they will be more brutal than people because a psychopath has no empathy for an individual who they may hurt or who is being hurt. But this is one of the jobs of a psychopath. The CEO, President of the United States, any position of authority, that is a job that a psychopath would take. So, not necessarily saying that everybody that takes the job is a psychopath, but you got to vet the people that you're putting in this job. Are they there to protect and serve, or are they there because they've been bullied in their life? Are they there because they have some strange sense of need for authority, thirst to be in power? You have to vet the people you put in charge of the police. And I'll say my piece. I didn't want to make this long. People are talking about this, breaking this down piece by piece. Ain't nothing to break down. Like I said, simply as this. Part of the exchange is Tyreek's fault. He could have did that a little bit better. At the same time, you gotta understand why he wanted to roll down the window. He said, "Hey, look, He told the guy, "I'm a football player, man. I'm a football player. I'm on my way to the game. Hey, I need to roll." He rolled up the window. He said, when he knocked on the window, he didn't want to roll it down. I said, "Roll it down, bro." He said, "Hey, why you rolling the window up? Don't roll that window up because he can't see in the car." So I get his point, but at the same time, that pulling him out of the car, putting him on the ground in handcuffs, all that was unnecessary because it had nothing to do with him breaking a law. He didn't break a law. He could sat in the car all day. If you want to, you could take his driver's license, go to the car, and he had to sit there until you get through. It is what it is. But I've said my piece. I want to hear your opinion below in the comments. So y'all have a peace and wonderful day.
You have been listening to Thought You're Awoke No Speed Limit Podcast.